Okay, we're up to Daf Yomi days. Daf Yomi days about 12, 13 lines up. Gufa, Amar Shmuel, says Shmuel. Beis Shedanu Dineim Din. We said this previously that two people who judged, right? We say Dini Mamnis B'Shleisha, but Shmuel said if two people judge, it's the din that they discuss is a din. In other words, it's not like they're not saying anything. El Shenikru a Bezdin Chotzav. They call it Bezdin a Chutzpah Bezdin. It's a Chutzpah Bezdin. Yosef Rav Nachman v'Kamala Shmaitza. Rav Nachman said over the psak of Shmuel. Esevei Rava Rav Nachman regarding Shmuel's psak. Afilu Shnayim Mizakim. Even if two people are Mizaka, or Shnayim Chayavim, be'echadam in any yedea. So you have three dayanim. Two say the guy is this one gets it, or two people say this guy's chayiv, and one says Eini yedea, I don't know. Then Yosifu hadayanim, you have to add on another one. The Isa, that if two people go ahead and paskin dineim din, lave kishnayim shedanu. Why do you have to add on to the third party? Once you had two people coming up with the psak, right? That's psak. So it's a kasha on Shmuel. Shmuel said two does the job. We see from a Mishnah later on that two doesn't do the job, right? Because if the third one says any adeya, you have to go pick another third. So how can you tell me two does the job? And for the Gemara, I'll tell you the difference. Shani Hasim, it's different over there. The Meikara Adaita the Tilsa Yasivi. When they sat down, they were a bezdin of three. When you sit down and you're bezdin of three, you have to make sure that that three people are involved. But hacha over here, where we said two people to sat down initially, only two people. Lama Adaita the Tilsa Yasivi. The two people sat down. We're not sitting down on dasa three, and Memela two can judge. So the challenge to Shmuel, you see from the Mishnah later on, you need three. You only need three when what? When you sit down is three. But when you sit down is two, then two would be acceptable. Shmuel fends off the first. Rav Nachman fends off the first challenge to Shmuel. Esevei a second challenge. Rav Shimon ben Gamliel Omer, right? Hadin b'shleisha, the din of a bezdin psak is with three. Upshara b'shnayim, and if you're going to go through arbitration, you're going to make a compromise. That's two. That's two. So tonight we're going to spend time on arbitration. Okay. So if it's a regular, in other words, you want to go through the system before coming up with a compromise. You want to go through the system. That's three. But if it's a pshara, you just want to go ahead and arbitrate. That's two. And v'yafa koyach pshara mikoyach hadin, and says the Reb Shimon Gamliel, better the koyach of pshara than the koyach of din. Sheshnayim shedanu balei dinim yicholim lachza behen, because two people, if there's a judgment, the balei din they're able to go ahead and change. Ushnayim she'asu pshara ein balei din lachza behen, right? That you're not able to go ahead and change. So the advantage that two people go ahead and they make a if they come to din, they yachal lachzar, but if it's a pshara, the arbitration, then once it's decided, that's it. Okay, that's what the Gemara seems to say. What? No, pshara is not din, it's arbitration. You're not going through giving your tinus. Din means you'll give your complaint, you'll give your complaint. So you bring your proof, you'll bring your proof. You don't bring any proofs. You're coming, two people come together. A guy hits you in a car. You're not going through an insurance company. You're not going to the court to see who's guilty. You make a pshara between you. It's nothing to do with the court. That's the arbitration over here.
Today, Bezdin likes to always do pshara, so that's the misconception.
Okay, so what do you see? That two people go ahead, you're able to be chayzer. Now, why could you be chayzer? What? Two people, why can you be chayzer? Because obviously it's not a din. If you're telling me it's a din, there's a psak din, how could you change your mind? What did Shmuel say? Said Shmuel, two people is judged the name din, but it's the bezdin mechutzif. Good. What does Rav Shimon Gamliel say? He says pshara is stronger because pshara you can't go back. But if two people judge it, you can go back. Why can you go back? Because it's nishkain din, right? It's nishkain din. That's the kasha in Shmuel. Right? How can you can't change your mind if it's not a din? If it's a din, you can't change your mind. Obviously, therefore, it's not a din when you say yachalachsabai. Okay. V'chitema. What are you going to say? Pligi Rabbanan oled Rav Shimon Gamliel. That the Rabbanan argue on Rav Shimon Gamliel, and they say two people, you can't go back. And therefore, Shmuel holds like the Tanakama, who argues with Shmuel Gamliel. Ivam Rebbe Vahu, says Rebbe Vahu, Shnayim Shedanu, two people that judged, L'divrei Akol, according to everyone, Ein Dinayim Din. Good. So says Rebbe Vahu that there is no machlokes, that if two people judge, there's no din. So what's the kasha, guys? Let's go outside, guys, outside. Eye contact. Let's go. What's the kasha? Says Shmuel that two people what is a din, but you're mechutzif. Says Reb Shimon Gamliel, two people who judge, you can go back and change, meaning it's not a din. Says the Gemara, suggests the Gemara that what? That maybe the Chachamim disagree, and they say two people, you won't be able to go back. Says Rebbe Vahu that no, the Chachamim disagree, and they say no, two people, you could go back. So everyone agrees, so it's Kasha and Shmuel. Now, who's creating the Kasha and Shmuel? Rebbe Vahu. Is what is Shmuel? Tana and Amira. Amira, good. What is Rebbe Vahu? That's Rav. What's Rebbe Vahu? Say Amira. Amira, good. So so Shmuel's an Amira. Rebbe Vahu is a Shmuel. And you're asking a kasha what? So what is Shmuel going to say? Escape my mind. You can say what you want to say. I disagree. Fred the Gemara. Gavra Kodemis. Right? You're asking what? From Rebbe Vahu to Rebbe Shmuel, he disagrees. Shmuel holds the Chachamim Takasei, two's a din. And he disagrees with Shmuel Gamliel. Top Rashi. Gavra. Rebbe Vahu to Shmuel. You're asking for Rebbe Vahu to Shmuel. Shmuel Sava. Pligi Rabbana led Reb Shimon. He holds that what that the Chachamim disagree, and they hold Einachinami that Shnaim Shasu the Nayim Din. So we held court. Very good. Now Gufa, we're going to go ahead and figure out Rebbe Vahu. So Gufa, the first one was on Shmuel that two people who judged the Nayim Din, and now we're going to go through Rebbe Vahu, the two people that judged the Nayim Din. Gufa, Rebbe Vahu, Shnaim Shadanu Dinei Maminis. The Divrei Akol Ein Dinayim Din. Everyone says, Sai Reb Shimon Gamliel, Sai the Chachamim, say Ein Dinayim Din, that it's not a din. Esrei Rav Abel Rebbe Vahu, Don es a din. Don is Lashon Yachid, guys? Yeah, Don is Lashon Yachid, right? Don es a din, V'zik es a chayev, V'chayev es a zakai. So he blows it. One judge is judging a din, he blows it. Timi es a tar, and Ti es a tame, he blows it. Masha asu. Whatever he did is done. What does that mean, guys? Whatever he did is done, meaning it's a din. However, umishalim beisai, and he goes ahead. What? and he goes ahead and he just has to make it up. In other words, the din is a din, but you cost this guy money. You have to make it up. You have to make it up. So it's a kasha and Rebbe Vahu. You Rebbe Vahu say that what two people is not a din. Here we see even one person is a din. You want to ask me a kasha, guys? 1 second. What does Shmuel say? 2. What are we saying over here? 1. So why is it a kasha only Rebbe Vahu? It should be kasha and Shmuel also. Shmuel said 2 people is a din. Mashma over here, even 1's a din. Good. Look at Taisus on the Amid base, the one we just finished, guys. The one we just finished. The second Taisus from the bottom. Shnaim shedanu hadinakat shnayim. That we learned 2. We shouldn't have filu shnayim have a bezdin chotzet. Even 2 is considered chutzpah to bezdin. Aval hu adin, the same din would apply. The chad nami dinayim din. That even 1 is a din. Mit the parach b'samach l'Rebbe Vahu midon adin u'l'Shmuel loy parach. When we're asking only Rebbe Vahu, you see Shmuel would hold 1's also a din. And the chiddush is that even it's 2 that's closer to 3 is still a bezdin chutzpah. So guys, so it's mashma. In other words, you have to say that if you're learning 2, you're going to learn that you don't have the Elohim, Elohim, Elohim. In other words, we have 3, right? I'm going to say, and you're going to say that what? If you learn all 3, then you have no choice. If you learn Rabbi Yonason 2 out of 3 and Ein Bezdin Shakel, right? So then it would possibly be. So Shmuel would have to hold like that. So once you're not coming on to all 3, then 1 also would be good. Good. Once you're not coming on to all 3, then 1 also should be good. Okay. So very good. So now we see it's a kasha only Rebbe Vahu and not Shmuel. Why? Because Shmuel hold lav dafka 2. Even 1 would be what dinayim din, and the kasha is only on Rebbe Vahu. And for the Gemara, Hachamay Askinon, what are we dealing with over here? The Kiblu Alahu. They were Makabel. The Kiblu Alaya, they were Makabel to Sat, that whatever this guy paskins is okay. Now, question. If you paskin, everything they said is okay, am I Mishalami Beisai? Why does he have to pay? And you said we're accepting you, right? So hey, so why are you paying then? And for the Gemara, the Amrulay, they say the litigants say to the Dayan, Dayanis lon din Torah. Right? In other words, aren't you supposed to don with din Torah? In other words, we hired you to correct it, not to go ahead and mess us up. So Mamela, since you messed us up, you'd have to pay. Bottom line is, Machloikis, Rebavo, Shmuel. Shmuel saying two Dayanim works. Shmuel, even though it's lechatchila, it's not what you want to do. Rabbi Avo says two does not work, and that's the Machloikis. Amr Safra l'Rababa, the toy b'mai. You're saying the Bezdin made a mistake, right? What's the possible mistake that he has to pay? What's the possible mistake that he has to pay? If you're going to say he blew it in first base, in other words, it's an open Mishnah that he should have known. The Amr of Sheshes, Amr of Asi, change the Gersa. Tov b'devar Mishnah, Chayzer. Fellas, it's important to note. When we say that the din is a din and you have to pay, it means you got the psak is done. Ein dinayim din means you did nothing. So there's nothing to discuss. If a dayan goes ahead and says something that's keneged a Mishnah, like he blows it totally, that's not a mistake. That's not even a psak. It's nothing. So you don't have to pay. Well, again, they find out they hear that's a Mishnah. You heard the guy who Mechayev goes in and says, "What are you talking about?" When they go to another dayan, the dayan says, "1 second, you made a mistake. You toy b'davar Mishnah, right?" So Mamela, if you toy b'davar Mishnah, right, that you're not going to have to pay for because that's not psaked in. And that was the guy. Whatever you said, we're going to reverse. Whatever you said is reverse. So it can't be that's the case where you're going to be Mechayev the guy to pay his toy b'davar Mishnah. That's mefurish. Like, in other words, if a guy tells you that the Dodgers didn't win the World Series this year, you bet money on it. There's nothing to talk about. It's not a bet. The Dodgers won the World Series this year. I was smiling. The Dodgers won the World Series this year. Yeah, and not the Yankees. Now so it can't be Torah Mishnah. Is Ella the Toy b'shikol hadas. He made a mistake. It might be called shikol hadas, which is kind of arbitrary. You make a decision. Shikol is tuwei das. Now, what does it mean shikol hadas? Hechi domi b'shikol hadas. This is what exactly is making a mistake in shikol hadas that you're gonna have to pay? What exactly does it mean? You're making a mistake in shikol hadas, you're gonna have to pay. Some Rav Papa kigoin trei tanoi v'trei amaroi de pli yadodi. You got a machloikas tanoim or machloikas amaroyim. V'layitmar hilchasa loy kimar v'loy kimar. And you didn't establish the halacha, not like this Tana, not like this Tana, not like this Amoira, not like this Amoira. Visugin the Alma, but Roiv Dayonim in the world, Sava Ali b'dechad minayu. You didn't come to a clear-cut psak. But most of the people are noita in one direction. And he goes what? In the other direction. And he goes totally in the other direction. Hainu shikol hadas. That would be shikol hadas. Why is everyone going over this? It makes more sense. You're going the other way. In that case, you would have to pay. That case, you would have to pay. Okay, now we said we have the machloikis between Shmuel and Rabbi Avo. Shmuel saying two people is a good bezdin, right? And Rabbi Avo is saying not. The Gemara is going to suggest this machloikis amaroyim is in fact a machloikis tanoyim. We're going to say this machloikis amaroyim, in fact, is a machloikis tanoyim. Leima kitanoy. Let's say it's machloikis tanoyim. Bitsua. Bitsua means to make, Rashi says one word, guys, pshara. Arbitration, a compromise. Bitsua bishloisha divrei. In order to compromise, you need 3. In other words, even though you would think it's not a din what in Dayonis, a din in Dayonis, it's a din in what? You don't need 3. You said no, it says may you need 3. The Chachamim Maimrim, pshara biyachid. A pshara can be even 1. A peshara can be even 1. Now, what's the svaras the machloikis between Reb Meir and what and the Chachamim? Savrua, the ones in the Bnei Yeshiva, lekuli alma makshina peshara ledin. Now, guys, even though peshara is not din, peshara is a compromise. You're not going through the judicial system, but since you're coming to someone for an idea, we'll make a hekesh between the two. So just like Dayonis is 3. So too what? Pshara would be 3 if you make the hekesh. My lab b'hakam iflaki. So the kuliyalma makshinim pshara ledin. My labakimifli. The masaba din b'shleisha, umasaba din b'shnayim. You see, guys, you see over here. Once you don't hold 3, you can go to 1, because you went from 2 to 1. Guys, this like the Tysus, right? You see over here, you're going from 2 to 1, right? The guy said 1. You see, you hold 2 is good. In other words, because that's what Shmuel said. So again, Pshar is 3. Pshar is 3. Chacham say what? 1. What's the Svaras Machlokes? Rabbi who says 3. We say what? That it's Pshar is a din. Since it's a din, right? You need 3, and anything less than 3 is not going to be a good psak. And Masha'en came. So you see that the Ramea holds. What do you need for Dayanis? 3 guys. The Raya is not from Pshara. The Raya is from the Hekesh. If everyone holds, you make a Hekesh to din. Guys, listen. Everyone's holding, you're making a Hekesh to din. The Raya is not from the Pshara. The Raya is if you're Makish Hekesh to din and you need 3. Obviously, by din you need 3. How else do you know Pshara 3? Only from the Hekesh to din. So din must need 3. And if you Makish the Hekesh from Pshara to din and you only need 1 or 2, obviously you don't need 3. And therefore the Chachamim would be like Shmuel and Rameh would be like a Bavahu. So again, don't get caught up. This Pshara is just it's the din part that's important. So now says the Gemara, Kuli Alma, one more time. Pshara biyach saru the Kuli Alma Makish min Pshara ledin. We're going to learn out what Pshara ledin. My lab hakim ifliki the masava din b'shleisha. Masavar Rameh holds din b'shleisha. And like Rabbi Vo, Umasaba din b'shnayim like Shmuel, like the Kuliyama din b'shleisha. Everyone holds din b'shleisha. But you know what? B'shar is you don't make the hekesh. The masava makshinam b'shar ledin. Rabbi says you make the hekesh, and therefore you need 3. Umasaba loy makshinam b'shar ledin. Okay. Now, l'chayra fellas, we have 3 shitas in pshara. We have 3, 2, 1. Lema tilsa tanoi b'pshara. There's three tanoim in holding pshara. Demar Rameh sava b'shleisha. Rameh is of the opinion you need 3. Umar sava b'shnayim b'shnayim. Umar and the Chachamim who argue Rameh sava b'yachid. They would hold what? Even a yachid. No, you know what's the answer? 2 and 1 are the same. Amar Ravacha Breder Avika Vitem Rav Yema Bar Shalmei Manda Matrei Afilu Chadnami. This is like the Taisvis in Shmuel. Manda Matrei Afilu Chadnami. V'od the Kamei Trei Ki Hechdel Havi Aleh Sadeh. You know why you need it? Since guys, you're not making the Hekesh to din. You know why? Because Pshara is not din. Pshara is not a din in Sanhedrin. It's a din in good advice. But it's not a psak, right? You're making Pshara. Each one is agreeing to the other one. Guys, when you get a psak, one person's not going to be happy. When you get a psak, you got 2 people going to one person's not going to be happy. That's a pshara. You come to terms. You understand, Yankel? It's not the same. Hesh, it's not the same. You understand? It's not the same. So Memela, it's geschmack over here. If you hold pshara is 2, you also hold 1. So you know why you need 2? It's Eitz Tova. You'd have edus to what happened. You have not that you need the 2 for the pshara. You need the 2 for the edus that they came to a compromise. So okay, so the Yotzim Midvarenu, right? Yotzim Midvarenu, guys. Let's just finish up. Now, pshara, you do not need acceptance. You don't need a kinyan when you need 3. The Isal Kedait of tzricha kinyan, the Mandiam at tzricha tilsa lamali to sagi betray. In other words, it must be that you don't need a kinyan, because if you did need a kinyan, right? Why do you need 3? You would only need 2. They agreed, and you have edus to the agreement. It must be you don't need a kinyan to go ahead. Again, it's it's talking about a kinyan, acceptance of everything. Acceptance of everything. You're accepting what star? Let's say there's no star. It's not a kinyan. This kinyan does mean the kinyan means acceptance, like acceptance, right? It doesn't mean like you're making a kinyan, a transaction. Says the Gemara, if you're going to tell me that you need a kinyan to finalize the transaction, that means that they agree to it. Why would you need a kinyan? To sage betray. Even so, Pesach does need a kinyan. It needs a kinyan. Okay. Now,
but why would 3? Why would
okay.
3?
Why we again? If
3 works
what?
like automatically. Like
in other words, from the fact that the mandama says 3, obviously you don't need a kinyan, because if you did need a kinyan, you wouldn't need 3. 2 would do the job. You have a kinyan, they accepted it. The shtar that accepted it, whatever, and then you have two people testifying to it. It must be you don't have any edus. You don't. It must be what. Yeah, it must be you don't have a kinyan. Therefore, you needed three. Look at. Let's see Rashi. Rashi says great. Says Rashi. Mandam Tsage betray veliknamine. The key in the konamine, since they made a kinyan, lamale bezdin. Why do you need a bezdin? Like they matana ba'alma. It's only just they made a matana. Umidaitoi. Behemis kayemes. El hachi binyan tilsel. The apis koyach bezdin. The afa gav the lav konamine loin the hatri. That if it's a bezdin, there's no going back. There's no backsies. That's why you need three. There's no backsies. Okay. So the Yitzim and Rain, guys. What we see tonight? The machloikis between Shmuel and Rabbi Vahu. Whether Shmuel says the bezdin of two helps. Rabbi Vahu says it doesn't help. Pshara. How many edus for pshara? You need either 3 or 1. 3 or 1. The one that says 3 means that we make a hekesh to din. The one that says then we don't make a hekesh to din. Whether you need a kinyan or not seems to be machlokes. We pass you need a kinyan. Tan Rabbanan. Kashem shahadin b'shleisha kach bitzu b'shleisha. This Tana Kama says. This Tana Kama says just like bezdin is 3, so too what pshara is 3 on the base. Just like bezdin is 3, pshara is also 3. Nigmar adin. Once there's the gemar din, then you can't make a what? You can't make a pshara. Once the machlokes Rashi and Taisus, the Rashi learns once they pronounced you are the winner and you are the loser. It's over. It's over. Once that's done, it's over. Now, according to this opinion, it seems, is there any issur of making a compromise here? It seems it's mutter. It's just telling you the number, right? So this Tana Kama says you can't, but lichatchila to go to arbitration, mutter. Good.
No, it's on the win if he wants to compromise.
No. No. Once there's a winner, there's no compromise. Before. No. Before the psak, you couldn't now. But can you go to arbitration? Is there any problem? Good. I'm telling you for a reason. So this Tana Kama holds it's mutter to go to arbitration. Now, Sarmash Bankash. Yeah, that sounds like it, but anyway, so it's these are the names of we're gonna have a Tanoim, and these are the simon for the Tanoim. This is one long brisa, guys. Rabbi Elazar ben Yosef Yosi Galili. That's Samach Yosi. Rabbi Elazar ben Yosef Yosi Galili Aimer Asa Livtzaya. That's what I told you. He says it's Asa Livtzaya. Rashi Asa Livtzaya Mishiboy Ledin. Even before the Gemar Din, once they come to court, it's too late. It's over. Once you come to court, says Rashi, that's it. Mashma before they come. Now, there's a beautiful diak of the Margolius Hayom. Listen to this diak. Listen to Margolius Hayom diak. Guys, what's the diak? This is coming to court. Says the Margolius Hayom, right? What happens if another person who's not a dayan, he says, there's no issa from a person from the street to go ahead. The whole issa wise is because once you come to court, you know what you're saying? The court's not good enough. You know, you're saying like Kaviyachol HaKadosh Baruch Hu put this mishpat in place. It's not good enough, right? But if it's before court, then so says Rashi is meduyik the Megalos Hayom and Rashi also v'tzaya when you come to court, because then you're saying, it's nishkin, it's not good. But Stamazay, a guy in the street, he doesn't come to court. Of course, there's no issa livtzaya. That's the diak about of the Margot Siyam. Wait. Well, you're going to see in a second. You're going to see in a second. The Gemara says just exactly what you're saying now. Says the Gemara. Asl livtzaya v'cheina v'chola b'itzeya, and anyone who compromises if he comes to court, along to Rashi, harizeh chayta v'chola mavarech as b'itzeya. And anyone who blesses those who make compromises, he's going ahead, he's insulting Hashem. The pasuk says, let me just make sure I read the pasuk correctly. Anyway, Baitzea Beirech Nietz Hashem Elayikev Hadin Esahar. Baitzea, you make a compromise you're blessing those people who knew it's Hashem. Ela yikov hadin esahar. Let the din yikov make a hole in the mountain. Let the din make a hole in the mountain. So it seems that be shenemar ki v'mishpat elokim hu. Okay, so if you look, I sent out the first Toras Chaim, the small one. You have them on the screen, Ela yikov hadin. I'm talking about guys. Lenny, what are you looking at? Lenny, look at the screen. Lenny, are you up? Lenny.
Can you hear me?
Okay. David, do you see Ela yikov hadin esahar? Good. Okay, good. Ela yikov hadin esahar naked hachi lefi shelafamim nira hadava be'ene hadayin kosher kahar. The dayin, he views it. It's like hard as a mountain. Kishayivsek shayris hadin l'chayva legamrei or lepaitra legamrei. To go ahead and say this guy's totally chai, this guy's totally pata, seems very, like a mountain on him, like a weight. Since he's not so clear and strong, to go, then you're gonna make a pshara. No. Go ahead, penetrate that mountain. The labidi detalia milsa has nothing to do with you. What? Ki hamishpat the mishpat is up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's not up to you. The mishpat is up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's not up to you. It's very interesting. My Rebbe Zatzal, he came a dayan in the Vilna Bezdin at the age of 22. He got married in 1922. I think he got married probably maybe 1930. He was 22, 1930. Got married in 1930. And his father-in-law was sick. His father-in-law was one of the dayanim in the Vilna Bezdin. His name was Mebei Bastian. My Rebbe said on his father-in-law, he knew every Bal Mechamis and Ma'ar Mechamis Bal Pel Eisvois. He said he never looked at an Achron. I mean, he was talking about, it's not Shaykh what he was. Anyway, he was sick and he died before the Chasana. Rav Chaim Moiza went ahead and he appointed my Rebbe a dayan at the age of 22. It was unbelievable. Anyway, a person came to him for Psak. So my Rebbe said, "What do you want from me? Go to Rav Chaim Moiza." Like. Anyway, Rav Chaim Moiza calls him in and says, "You want to get your check? You want to get a check? You paskin." So he said that once the Rav Chaim Moiza told me paskin, he never had any fear. He said, Rav Chaim told the paskin, you can't have any. And what's pshat? When you paskin, you have siyata d'shmaya. Hashem, it's not you that's paskining. It's not a har. It's not. Don't be scared. HaKadosh Baruch, it's up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rashiva said he matted guys after the war. I'm not going to give you a number, but hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of almana of agunis. He said now, and that's the hardest shiloh to paskin. The hardest shiloh, the most scariest shiloh to paskin is the paskin that a woman can remarry and then the husband shows up. It creates terrible things, and it's a crazy. Okay.
The Zoom is on the round.
Anyway, sorry for that. Anyway, and he said that he never showed up. Never showed up. Never showed up. Never. He said Paskin never showed up. He said once there was one thing he was scared to Paskin. He said Rav Moshe called him up for a shaila. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. I think it was the shaila of the. I don't blog it because I'm not sure. I think it was the shaila of the twins born with the heart that was connected to each other. And if you're going to go ahead and disconnect, one's going to die. What do you do? I think that was the shaila that he was scared to paskin. I think.
What the paskin?
But Moshe paskin that the one that's healthy is the one of the ones roided. Did it but you had to be Moshe to paskin. It was really crazy. But I'm saying it. So dying. See from the beautiful Toras Chaim. It's not you. It's not you. Whatever's hard. No, it's not you. Rabbi Shalom. You got siyata d'shmaya. Very geschmack. Okay, continues the Gemara. Okay. The mishpat zu HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's not you. V'chein Moshe, here Yankel will get to you. V'chein Moshe Omer, Yikov hadin esahar, aval Aaron, but Aaron oyev shalom, v'roidev shalom, u'mesim shalom ben adam lechaveroi. But Aaron, on the other hand, he was different. Aaron was what, fellas? he was Roidev Shalom, V'oyev Shalom, and he made Shalom, he made Psharis Shenemar, Tyrus Emes Hoysa Befiu, Va'avlo Loi Nimsa Bisvasav, B'Shalom Uv'Mesha Halach Iti, V'Ravim Heshiv Ma'ovin. Now, L'chayr is a Pella. So Moshe says, don't make a Pshara, but Aaron, he's making a Pshara. And the Gemara is being mishabeach him for that. So if you look at Tosfos, Aval Aaron Pirish Kivin Shleihois a Dayan, since he wasn't a Dayan, Shleihoya Hadin Balafanov, and the din didn't come in front of him. Elofnei Moshe Vade Lididei Shari. It was permitted for him. So in other words, Tosfos wants a taina that Aaron wasn't a Dayan, and he wants to say Aaron wasn't a Dayan, and Moshe was. So Moshe can make a Shara, but Aaron could. The problem is there's a source that Aaron was a Dayan. Fellas, I think Rashi was barvoning this. Rashi in 2 words answered it. What did Rashi say? Rashi didn't say Asal of Tzoya. Rashi said once you came to Din. What did Aaron do, guys? He ran to them. He went before. That's why Rashi's answering the kasha with 2 words. Says Rashi, you know what? Roidev Shalom. He went ahead and he ran after them. And as a result of running after them, therefore what? It didn't get to court yet. Since it didn't court yet, so I think it's Masur Kidvash. I think it's. I'll find you a source. I'll find again. I'm telling you for sure. I'm telling you for sure. But once Aaron learned the Torah by Moshe, he also can paskin. He paskined also. But I think Rashi, guys, is so geschmack. Like Rashi, those 2 words, he answers up everything. Yehudi here. Rashi answers up. It's not a kasha, guys. Like Rashi, it's nishkan kasha. Says Rashi, Roidev Shalom before he right. So I think that's the husband Rashi. I think it's very geschmack. Okay.
Didn't die by himself.
Okay. Again, the question is in the Gemara, how can it be you're saying Moshe is a positive and him is a negative? Okay. Now, yeah, again, he dealt with Yisrael. Again. Now, let me ask you a kasha. I brought in my Garli Sayam is so super geschmack, guys. The second one I sent out. It's the bottom one, Bob. It's the bottom one. The bottom one, guys, is unbelievable. You got it? Aval Aaron Oyev Shalom. Kiflam, it doubles down. Oyev Shalom v'roidev Shalom. It says double. Oyev v'roidev. You have it, Speaks? Lahadgish, to go ahead and stress. Shebruchoi b'shnayim Oyev Shalom. Kishaboy lefonov. V'roidev Shalom. Lahashtik machloikis terem shaboy lefonov. In other words, when it came in front of him, and when he went after him, he stopped machloikis. V'shamati b'shem haravat tzadik me Alexandra, the Alexandra Rebbe. Okay, we're beginning Chasidus into share. Shalakain Tulsa Torah Tumis V'Taira HaMitzayra B'Kayim. It's a very interesting thing, guys. It's a very interesting thing that when it comes to Mitzayra, it's not a Dayan who paskins that he's a Mitzayra. It's the Kayin that paskins he's a Mitzayra. It's the Kayin. Why in the world is it Tali B'Kayin? Why in the world is it being pronounced a Mitzayra Tali B'Kayin? Says the Alexander Rebbe, right? I feel it should tell the fish at Saras ba al lashon hara. The lashon hara hari enu sheker. It's not lie. Ach shahoylech rachil. A guy comes umesaper emes. He tells the truth. Masha'ama chaver v'lav uchedayme. You know what this guy said about you? You know what he said about you? Ba lashon hara zeh mitamer heyosei ish ha'emes. He could be truthful. Uluma zeh midasa shel aroin hakayin. B'roifay shalom, hoyelahagid la'adam, shechoyshev es chaveroi, kisoyna la, shezel le'nachain. Va'adarabba, u'mizgagal esratzas imo. He loves you. He wants to be with you. V'ari be'emes le'hoyekach, rach b'chtei laharbe shalom, shina v'atas. In other words, Rachel is telling the truth, but him telling the truth is doing what? Is causing pirud. Aaron be right of Shalom. What did he do? He didn't want to have to say, you know what this guy said about you? Because he loves you and everything. L'chein amr Torah shezeh isha emes hagoyim machloikis yezakuk l'adam hametah b'shvil hashalom ubiyadit haraslay. The person who told the truth, the lashon hara, the rechilis, he should go to the kohen, to his right of Shalom, who wants to go ahead and take away what he caused. That's why you go to the kohen and not to what? Isn't that a shmak? That's why you don't go to a Baal Hira, but you're going what to the kohen, because the kohen is going to go ahead what, and he's going to take care. The right of Shalom is going to take care of the lashon hara, was the exact opposite, and he's not telling the truth. He's not telling the truth. Yeah. The guy who said lashon hara is telling the truth. The right of Shalom is not telling the truth. But what do you know from HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Shalom bias. You can go ahead and so geschmack is anything. Okay, says the Gemara Vaita. Okay, so we have the first one saying that we have the first one saying that it's muta to be tzaya. We have Rabbi Elazar, the son of Rabbi Yossi Aguli, saying it's asa. And now, what does Rabbi Elazar do with this pasuk? Rabbi Elazar, a person steals a saw of chitim, he grinds it and he bakes it. What bracha do you make? It's not a bracha. This is the mitzvah baba avera. You did an avera. You're going to go and give a bracha on this? Ubaitseya is lashon gezel, guys. Ubaitseya beirech ne'etz Hashem. If you make a bracha on that, you're going mamish. You're insulting HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When it says Baitseya, it's speaking about Yehuda. Shnemar, Bayom Yehuda al Achiv, Ma Betza, what will we gain? Kina roig esachina. Last week's parsha. What do we gain by killing Yosef? Yehuda, and anyone, okay, now, anyone who benches Yehuda, Harizem Menoyetz, is insulting Hashem. Now, L'chaira, what did he do wrong? In other words, mashma that Yehuda did a bad thing by saying, what are we going to gain by killing him? Is a bad thing because you're saying if you're going to bench him, you're insulting Hashem. Look at Rashi. Says Rashi, Keneged Yehuda, Shahaya loymar nachsirenu lavinu. We should return into our father. Achrei shayu devar of nishmayin la'achiv. Since you see Yehuda had such influence on his brothers that they listened to him, right? He had such influence they listened to him. Why did he go ahead and limit it to sell him into slavery, right? Why go and limit it to slavery? You should go ahead, and you should go ahead and free him. Okay, so that's why, according to Rashi, what? According to Rashi, you shouldn't bench Yehuda from our bets. And now, this Rashi, I find the Gemara is fair. Guys, if I would have told you when Yehuda said my bets, it's a good thing or a bad thing. Good. You don't say it's a good thing. As a matter of fact, the Tosefta at the end of Bracha says one of the reasons that Yehuda became Melech is because he took achrayus for his deeds. And one of the rayas they bring is he couldn't kill Yosef because he couldn't live with himself if he killed Yosef, and therefore he was appointed king. My bet. So what are you gaining? So Rashi, and again the Pashut Gemara seems to be saying that to bench Yehuda what is menoyetz. The Marsha says a charif stick of shot, guys. He says a charif stick of shot. He says the following. He says anyone who the lashon mavarech means betza is a lashon of pshara. Doesn't mean betza means what do we gain by going ahead and killing him? He made a pshara. What's his pshara? You could either kill him, right? You could kill him or bring him home. What's the pshara? Put him in the middle. So therefore, he learns that over here. Okay, it's on mavarech. Ein zeh mavarech al menayitz. In other words, this if you think you're going to go ahead and mavarech means curse Yehuda, guys. Bechas Hashem. What does bechas Hashem mean? Right. So he learns the Marsha. Anyone who curses Yehuda for doing this is menayitz Hashem, is insulting Hashem. Because really, you should bench him because he did what? He did a very, very good thing. That's the way, and that's the way he learns pshat. Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha Omer, here's the third shita, mitzvah libtzaya. So we saw mutta, guys, we saw mutta, we saw asa, and what's the third shita? Mitzvah libtzaya. Shnemar, emes umishpat shalom, shaftu b'sharechem, emes umishpat shalom, you judge in your gates. Sharechem is lashon of judgment, shar. V'aloi b'mokim sheyesh mishpat ein shalom, where there's judgment, there's no shalom, because one guy's got to lose. V'mokim sheyesh shalom ein mishpat. Ella, what do you have to say? Eze mishpat sheish b'shalom, What's the mishpat at the shalom? Haviyam is bitzua. That's making a compromise. The chem b'david by David it says David oisa mishpat tzedakah l'chol amay. Right? David did tzedakah mishpat l'chol amay. Now mishpat and tzedakah seem to be counterintuitive. Kamakim sheish mishpat ain't tzedakah. With his mishpat there's no tzedakah. When there's a loser, with tzedakah ain't mishpat. Elaezu mishpat sheish but tzedakah. What's the mishpat that has tzedakah? Haviyomer ze bitzua. That's when you make a compromise. If you make a compromise, then what? It's mishpat and tzedakah. So you have three shittas, guys. What's the three shittas? We have the Tanakama saying muta, Rabbi Lazar, Rabbi Yossi saying it's asa, and we have Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha saying it's a mitzvah. Okay. Now asa Tanakama. Now this is it's very interesting. Asa Tanakama means Rabbi Lazar of Shimon. It means the second shita. The Goan says it's asa. Donas adin, sikas azakai. If you don't jin and mizaka, the one who should be zoicha, v'chayiv as a chayiv, v'rosh and is chayiv oni mimamin, and you see an oni that's chayiv mimamin, v'shin loy, you take peisa and you pay yourself. Say mishpat tzedakah, mishpat lezeh v'tzedakah lezeh, mishpat lezeh shehichsel mimamin. You're getting back his money that you took away from him. Tzedakah lezeh sheshin loy you take peisa, and tzedakah that you're paying from your own house. You're paying yourself, and this comes out according to Rabbi Yossi, who says it's asa. So mishpat tzedakah can't be that what you make a pshara. It's us to make a pshara. So how does he judge, guys? How does Rabbi Yossi said it's us to make a pshara? How does he say tzedakah mishpat? How can you do tzedakah mishpat? You can't. The way we're learning tzedakah mishpat, you make a pshara. But he says it's us to make a pshara, right? That's why it's going on. Not the Tanakama. It's going on the second sheet, the Rabbi Yossi. So it's us to make a pshara. How in the world could you go ahead with tzedakah mishpat? You know what tzedakah mishpat is? You went ahead and you're not making a pshara. You paskin. And what happened? The ani lost. But he doesn't have what to pay. So what did you do? You did an actual tzedakah. You bailed him out. You took care of him. It says mishpat tzedakah l'chol amay. David did mishpat tzedakah l'chol amay. According to you, it's not l'chol amay. According to you, it's what it's to. It's aniyim. Ella. What does Rabbi say? Ella afa pishalei shilei mitoich beisai ze mishpat. Right. But even if the dayan doesn't pay, there's still mishpat tzedakah. What is that? Mishpat tzedakah. Mishpat he's getting back his money in din. Guys, the ani is wrong. He has money that doesn't belong to him. You're doing a tremendous act of tzedakah. Good. In the end, money. He's losing what? Money. But guess what? The fact that it's not gazela, he's not going to have an aveir on his head is a tremendous act of tzedakah. So that would be the way Rabbi learns. And therefore, it's the chol amoy, not just the what? Aniyim. It's the chol amoy, not just aniyim. Rabbi Shimon Menashe Omer, Shnayim shebo lefanecha ledin, two people come in front of you to din, Achlei tishma devrayim, before you hear what they have to say, Achlei tishma devrayim, before you hear their legal complaints, or when after you do hear their complaints, but you don't know which direction to go in. You could tell them, go ahead and make a pshara. Okay, in other words, he's obviously saying another shita. He's saying a different shita. This is the fourth shita. He's saying it doesn't say mutta, it doesn't say asa. He's giving you a time. He's giving you a time frame. If you heard what they said, and you haven't concluded one or the other, you still can make a pshara. However, mishatishma devrei, once you hear their complaints, their legal complaints, and you know which direction you're going in, then you can't go ahead and say make a pshara. Shnemar, the pasuk says, "Poiter mayim reishis madain," and we need the latter part of the pasuk. Ulfnei gala hariv, before the riv is revealed, the toish, then abandon it, leave it. Before the riv has been iskala to you. In other words, you haven't concluded how to paskin. You're able to go ahead and leave it, and meaning by making a pshara. Mission is gala hariv. Once it's revealed to you, meaning and you know exactly what you're saying. Then you're no longer able to do it. Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha, Rabbi Yeshua ben Lakish Omer, Shnaim shebol ledin, echad rach v'echad kasha. You have two people who come to court. One is a nice fellow, and the other one is a tough guy. Actually, tishma devrayim, or misha tishma devrayim, v'yat yachal yodei alehechem naita. This is playing off the Rabbi Shimon Menashe's shita. You don't know which way to go yet. I don't need this. Shem nischayev chazak. Maybe you mechayev the tough guy. But him chazak, wait for him. He's going to go ahead and he's going to go ahead and veto you. He's going to go after you. You don't need that. That's until you heard the case. But once mishatishma devreya, once you heard the case, that's too late. Shnemar like segurim ifnei ish. Don't be scared. Once you don't be scared. Paskin like Rabbi. Once you heard Chaim Moshe said you got a paskin, he wasn't scared. Yeshua ben Karcha Omer. Minayin letalmid sheyesh lefnei Rabbi v'ros chus lani v'chayv la'asher. He's sitting there and he says that he has chus for an ani and a chayv for an asher. Minayin shleish ish like you shouldn't remain silent. Shnemar like segurim ifnei ish. Don't be scared. Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha Omer. I'm changing the gersa. Rabbi Yeshua ben Karcha Omer like tichnas v'recha mifnei ish. Don't withhold your words in front of your Rebbe, right? You don't withhold the words in front of your Rebbe. If the Rebbe is saying something that's wrong, you'd be a nice way. But the Edim should know who they're testifying. Before they're testifying, now all these refer to the Rabbi Shloim. Right? It's going on to Kodesh Baruch who is going to have to make up. If you mess up, be aware that if you mess up, you're going to cause a Kodesh Baruch Hu to have to make up your mess up, right? That's what the Edom should realize. In front of who they're going to have to pay, in front of who they're testifying, and Shenemar v'omdu shnei anashim asher lehem ariv l'fnei Hashem. So it says, and the two people should stand in front of Hashem. V'yu adayonim yoidim es mi hein donim. They should understand who they're judging in front of. L'fnei mi hein donim umi asli para mihem Shenemar Elokim nitzav adas kel. V'chein v'yashafet u'aymet says v'yom elashafet ru ma'atem oisim ki lo yilodem tishpat ki Hashem Shem yom adayim mili b'tzar zeh. Maybe the dayan should say, do I need this? Why do I need those? Tamad loymar imachem b'davar mishpat. And l'dayan elamash ein of royis. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. This is what you would give. You went according to what you think is right, and that's what you have to do. Whatever you thought is right, that's what you have to do. Okay, we'll stop over here.